ain't want no. Oh, no. Oh, 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 oh. Step into the ring, it's the champion's corner time. WWE and AEW break it down. We shine from the top rope to the mat. All the action on the heat. Champions Corner podcast where the real fans meet. Champions Corner podcast where the real fans meet.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite host, Mr. Ron G, Mr. Highlights. I'm here with my brother, the professor, Mr. BJ. Ready to give a grade on this Dynasty pay-per-view that if you spend $50, did you get your money's worth? Let us know in the comments. I don't know. I'm a little upset about that ending. It was a long show, I tell you that.
That.
I'm a little upset. So I'm going ahead.
No, but yeah, it was a long show.
Yeah. Great wrestling, as always, is AEW. This is some of the best wrestling you're going to ever see in your life. But as far as these stories go, they not hitting the mark. It's like they on and off, man. I try to give them credit where credit is due. And you can always lean on the wrestling. But that story it's throwing me, man. It's throwing me. Like I'm going to start off with the main event. I mean, that's what we're here to talk about for the most part. Swerve, Strickland, Jon Moxley. Great match. Started off kind of slow with the, rest holds, regular wrestling. I thought it was more of a blood feud the way they was making it. Then put this man through glass, pop him on glass, and this and that. I thought it was going to go right at it. Well, like my boy Jacoby say, Mr. Boy fisticuffs.
Yeah, right.
I thought that's how it was going to be starting off. But it got there. It had some great spots in it, scratching and clawing as Jon Moxley does all the time. He's a brawler. That's what he does. But like I said, my favorite spot, of course, probably the spot where Neil's on the ladder and he did Swerve storm through the
announce table. Yeah,
through the announce table. That was probably the best part for me. I was worried about Swerve getting injured on that. Now he be holding that knee, but it was all right. He made it through the rest of the match, and then come to surprise. Well, that's my surprise because I said Hangman was gonna come on out there and give Swerve a hand. It was like he's about to try to hit Swerve, but then he attacked the Death Riders, and they attacked him, and led to the most disappointing moment of the night for me. The Young Bucks, they did the blackout, and then the Young Bucks came on. They made a return, had Swerve ready for the BT trigger, and gave it to him and cost him his shot for the world title, and Moxley picked up the pieces.
Yep,
so
there you are.
Yeah, that just for what? Because to
Why?
my point,
Okay.
the way I see it, Moxley's crew, what we still call it on this show,
I like that
they
name.
ran y'all out of AEW. You can't even do your EVP job because of these guys. And they kicked out part of your team. They broke his hand. But you come back and attack Swerve. I get it. Oh, they saying before y'all left, y'all had some dealings with Swerve with the blood and guts or whatever else. But that don't constitute you costing him a world title match. I get you heels, yeah, I understand that. Maybe it's going somewhere. I don't know. But for right now, it's bullcrap.
In the moment, right?
In the moment, right now, I'm feeling like, what? Why? Because really,
no, that's fair.
Young Bucks are cool, but they're not the most relevant at the moment. People didn't like their character before they left like that. I mean, did we really miss the Young Bucks for this long time that they've been gone?
Some people did.
I didn't miss the Young
fans
Bucks.
did.
And yeah, I mean, they got some. I'm sure they got fans out there. I'm sure, but for the most part, I don't think they're the most relevant thing right now. and this is trying to make them relevant. And are y'all teaming with Moxley? Because y'all got two different personalities and it's two different motives from what we've seen from each of y'all recently.
That's true.
And from what we know, what the Bucks do, Moxley doesn't like any of that, and that's why y'all asses ran out to packed up all your Jordans and ran out.
And remember, they were shredding papers too, which I didn't understand that bit. But
That's still, I don't know if that still was explained.
well, maybe we'll get answers this Wednesday.
I'm a hope so, but we don't usually record this fast on that certain things, but I had to jump on this.
Yeah, this is a big
I was
moment.
gonna wait it out, but I don't know. That thing upset me so much. We had to jump on and make this episode right here before Dynamite. Like I said, I like to wait to see what people do and see how it plays out. But for right now, I'm upset. Not just because I want to Swerve to win. I just saying, what make this make sense, bruh?
No, I can understand that. I can see that being the issue, but I will say the match, first of all, the match itself, I thought it was okay. I wasn't too big on the rest toes either, but I'm not big on the whole new Jon Moxley style of wrestling, his death style jiu-jitsu, whatever he calls it. As far as the Young Bucks interfering, I'm a bit confused by it. And the only reason I'm not upset about it is because I already told you who they're holding out to beat Moxley. So in my mind, I'm already like, oh, this person's going to lose. That person's going to lose. When he fights Will Ospreay at Double or Nothing, he's going to lose.
Okay, anyway, no. I'm still not in that line of thinking, but that is not even the problem. If Swerve lost because of Death Rider's interference, okay. But you got a Young Bucks come out of nowhere costing this man his chance. For what?
So your issue is just really who did it, not that it happened.
Yes. And I like I said, I would like Swerve to win. I really want Swerve to win because I want to see the belt.
Yeah, right. I would like to know what the title looks like. I kind of forgot, honestly.
Right. I'm surprised the rest of Death Riders came out with their championships. I was surprised by that. The Trios championships.
Yeah, that was a bit out of character for them, I guess.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. So, and the thing is, I was liking Moxley for his whole career, pretty much. But this thing is just going nowhere, bruh.
Running around in circles. I don't know. Well, I feel as if the end game, like I said, is Darby winning. But as far as the Young Bucks interfering, it is a bit of a mystery. The only thing I can really speculate is that, well, regardless of why, here's the issue. Like you mentioned, the Young Bucks don't fit Jon Moxley's idea. So it's like, regardless of whatever the Bucks' reasoning is, why would Jon Moxley even be okay with it? Because it's sort of the opposite of what he's been preaching and proclaiming. As far as the Young Bucks go, I mentioned, I believe it may be an idea that they may be combining the two takeover stories. It really is just a lapse of everything. All right, I got to rant a little bit myself. So here's my problem with the storytelling with this a little bit. I understand from my perspective that Darby Allin may be coming to take the title off of Moxley. However, Darby Allin hasn't been on TV, so it just seems kind of a little lackluster. Unless he's the wild card and he's featured more and kind of build something off of that, then fine. The Young Bucks being off of TV for so long, leaving without any real explanation, and then showing up to help Swerve lose does seem kind of out of place as well. I really don't know what their strong beef with Swerve is that they wouldn't want him to be champion. Even if they had, I don't know. I'm rambling because I really don't have an answer for this.
You would think they was Hangman brothers or something. Because Hangman's supposed to be the one that's keeping him from the title, but he the one helping him, and y'all the one costing him the title.
Well, they are Hangman's, next to like best of friends. They're the elite, right? That's the entire clique. They had a little heated moment with Hangman, but at the same time, it's like.
But even then, like I said, Hangman is changed his mind just off of what Swerve said. Like I said last episode, episode before last, from what Swerve said, admitted to Hangman. So it just took that. Him admitting that he was wrong and he deserved what he got from Hangman. And Hangman was pretty much there to help him out. What is y'all's reasoning?
That don't mean the Young Bucks agree or that they're over it. Maybe they're still upset. I don't know. I don't know. And well, I'll be honest with you. Even if they do explain, I don't think I would care.
No.
Because it's just, yeah, I think that still comes
Uh-uh.
down to it. It's not enough, because you mentioned before the Death Rider story has kind of just been going in circles. And
Yeah.
even though this is the biggest pivot in the story, it's coming at a place that just feels like,
It's like
Oh.
it's almost like, oh, we couldn't get Shane McMahon be the mystery overseer or or person in charge. So let's go with the EVPs that we already got.
I mean,
That's what it seemed
look,
like it's forming up to be.
that's not a bad assumption, because, you know, even Excalibur mentioned that maybe there's a higher power. Maybe it is the Young Bucks. I'm going to throw some fantasy book in. Maybe the Young Bucks knew Jon Moxley was doing, and that Jon Moxley was going about it a bit strong, so they just kind of wanted to wash their hands a bit. So the whole shredding of the papers is to kill the paper trail. But if that's the case, why would they come back and actually help him then? Like, why would they physically? I don't know. Either way, so what would you rate this match?
You don't even want to know, bro. Because the ending just ruined the whole thing for me. It could have been something. Like I said, if Death Riders did that by themselves, I probably would have gave it a what? B?
Really?
But
That's pretty okay.
yeah.
Okay. I would have done that.
Because, like I said, it's just a few between these. This match didn't need to end. The story didn't need to end here. They could have had another match with Swerve. It could have, you know, continued because of the interference, and it could have made it into another type of match. Hangman could be there to, you know, watch Swerve's back in the next match.
Well, you know what? Okay, so let me say this though. What will carry on from this is probably Swerve and Hangman fighting the Young Bucks. I think the Death Rider portion of it is gone a different direction, but the Young Bucks and Swerve with Hangman are going to continue.
Okay.
Hold your enthusiasm. Good Lord.
No, because and with that, the Hangman coming out is overshadowed by the Young Bucks coming back and doing what they did. Hangman coming out to help Swerve when they had the deepest feud they had, the most intriguing feud, one of the best feuds of AEW history.
Yeah, well,
and now that's him coming out and adding to that is overshadowed by the Young Bucks interference. So that's not even what people are talking about. They're talking about what the Young Bucks did and costing Swerve his title match.
Hey, man, at least they're talking about it. Controversy creates dollars for somebody.
But I think the air was just let out the room when that bell hit.
Yeah, that seems. You know what? That seems to be the case with all Jon Moxley matches. Let me ask you this question: is the world title picture the biggest issue in AEW right now?
I won't say it's the biggest issue. It's the stories, man. Well, and that's just one of the stories, because I don't like the MJF and Hurt Syndicate thing.
Oh, well, you know what? Since you brought that up, let's go straight to that. Let's talk about that for a moment, because that was an interesting ordeal too. You had a situation where the Hurt Syndicate were fighting off the Learning Tree, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. It was a decent match. It wasn't going the way I was thinking. I was thinking, I don't know, they was going to make Big Bill look kind of strong or something. But no, the Hurt Syndicate handled business pretty effectively.
Yeah.
But during the middle of the match, MJF comes and he punches Big Bill. And, you know, he's trying to show a form of assistance and allegiance towards the Hurt Syndicate. But what is the end game for MJF? Does he really feel like Bobby Lashley and Shelton are going to help him win the world title?
I guess MVP done sold him a dream.
Well, you're right about that. He did sell him a bill of goods. I just don't know if it's going to be worth anything.
Right. Because Bobby Lashley and Shelton do not need your help. Especially against no Big Bill and Byron Keith.
Do they really need help with anything, though?
They don't need help with nothing. And they need to be going for something even more.
Trios titles.
Continental.
Okay.
Continental. TNT. The World Heavyweight Championship. For themselves. At least for Bobby. Why would they get that for somebody else? That's never going to make sense to me. It don't make sense to Bobby. That's why I said Bobby said, get out my face. You can't... I don't know how you would say prove yourself. You could try, but I don't see the point, because I know I want that World Heavyweight Championship.
That is kind of what he said, but he didn't actually say it. Like he didn't
actually say that. No,
I know, but that's what I wish he had said. Like that's the one thing I don't. So that's what I'm a little confused about with the Hurt Syndicate. I get the whole we hurt people, but what is their MO? What is their objective going into AEW? Is it to win gold, or is it just win the tag titles and sit with the tag titles? Because I feel as if that may be cutting the bar a little short for them when they really should be going after higher titles.
Because they got all the world champions written all over Bobby Lashley. He carries himself way different than everybody else. The way he looks like he could beat everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever age he is or not, it don't matter. This man is a dominating figure.
He looks
and
like
no
it,
man
at
could
least.
really step to him in AEW for real.
But you know, the thing is, AEW doesn't book big men like that.
They don't.
They really don't. They book them. They book big men. I said this before. They book big men exactly how WCW used to book cruiserweights. Kind of like the side character, but never the main character.
Well, they need to, like I said, they got time. I know they probably waiting on Cedric. I don't even know what the point of waiting on Cedric.
Well, you know, I thought he was going to show up.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't. He got a 90-day thing. I don't know when that's up exactly, but with this MJF thing, like I said, they already got them going down a path, and I don't like where it's going so far.
Well, you don't like where it's going because it's definitely hindering them from a bigger, tighter picture, and it's probably going to keep them in the loop. You know what it feels like? Ironically, it feels like Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. It feels like Carmelo could be doing something better, but he's getting wrapped up with The Miz, and I kind of want to see that end sooner than later. That's what it feels like.
Or their former partner, well, Bobby's former partners, Street Profits.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got tag team titles, but guess what? We want Montez to do more.
Yeah, we do. We want him to be that singles champion, that single star that he can be. But you know, some people don't think there's enough black talent in WWE. But that ain't what we're talking about. I don't want to get there just yet. All right. Well, with that, we'll move on. We'll move on to the next one. Yeah. Let's talk about these. You know, I'm going to women's match action. I want to talk about Mercedes and Julia Hart.
Yeah.
Now,
well, Julia Hart showed me something on this one. Julia Hart, she always continues to get better.
She does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
This was a really good match. I will admit, this is one of the better matches of Julia Hart. Because for a moment there, I really almost thought she was going to pull out the win. It was a little, well, Mercedes. Well, I mean, you get caught up in the moment.
Unless Athena was out there doing Mercedes up. I didn't see Julia winning. I just said she did good.
No, like I said, I didn't see her winning. It's just you get caught up in the moment. And when they went back and forth with the submissions and Julia wasn't tapping and she kept trying to fight it, I'm like, oh, snap. Are they going to really have Mercedes lose in the first round? They ain't going to do that.
Right.
They ain't do that.
But that shows how good that match is. If the match could sway your opinion on who's going to win this, that's a good match.
It was. There's another match on the card that had the same feel. Real quick with this one. It was a really good showing by Julia Hart. I really enjoyed it. I will say this, you know, they have Mercedes teaming up with Harley Cameron, and they're doing this like rock and sock connection thing.
Yeah, I see that all day. Yeah.
I honestly would like to see where this goes. Yeah. My question is, do you think this can turn a face turn for Mercedes somewhere down the line? Sooner than later, probably.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it can, because everybody already loves Harley Cameron and the little puppet and whatnot, and all it takes for Mercedes is just like crack a little smile or whatever stuff like that, and the fans will be right on it.
Yeah, that's true.
And Harley Cameron can help Mercedes out. And I mean, I guess that still make her a heel if she uses turns out that she's using Harley Cameron for her own good, for her own benefit. Let me say that.
Yeah,
so that might keep Mercedes in the heel column. But I mean, it could have some legs with this. It might be good for both of them.
It is pretty intriguing. I am interested to see where this goes because, like I said, I do like Harley Cameron for what it is. I'm not a huge. Listen, I'll admit, I'm not a huge Mercedes fan. I don't think she's great at promos. I think she's really good in ring.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's really about it.
Yeah, she's great in the ring. She just didn't change that finish because that thing is ugly.
I don't like the finish. Just stick with the bank statement or whatever you want to call it. Just stick with that. I like that better. But I would like to see where this goes. I would. But
I definitely will.
We'll move on to the next one. We'll talk about that Death Riders Trios Championship. It was rated FTR versus the Death Riders.
Yeah. It's a little clunky for the rated FTR. I had a clunk moment myself just now. that describes this match right here.
It
So
was
they
a
just
little all
can't
over
get
the
on the same
place.
page, and they haven't been on the same page for weeks now. But turns out, FTR, they really are on the same page. They had the same mindset.
Yeah,
And
it's just that
it's
Copeland
another,
guy.
yeah. Copeland just keep getting kicked out of groups. It was Judgment Day, and now we got rated FTR.
I didn't
Group
even
that
think about that.
yeah. And his tag team partner Christian turned on him. So I mean, God no.
Boy, I tell you, man, it goes to tell you something about a person. Everyone you affiliate yourself with turn on you. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you.
The common denominator.
Seriously. No, but that's a good call out on that. I didn't even think about that. I wasn't a
Yeah.
huge fan of rated FTR, but I love FTR. It's just the rated part. Like I said, I've never been a big Edge fan.
No.
So Adam Copeland is kind of the same distance where I'm not too big a light of him. I listen, when back when Copeland lost his match against Moxley on Dynamite, and he reached up for Dax to help him up, and Dax left the ring. Oh man, I was cheering so hard. I was like, that's right, Dax. Leave that bum on the ground. He ain't helping nobody anyway. And the fact that they actually betrayed him, and I gotta point out this moment. I love when Dash put the neck brace on and jumped on the stretcher. He was like, you know what? I'm not gonna need this. He'll probably need it. I love that moment. Cause I do. I love it. FTR, give me heel FTR. Give me I don't like Adam Copeland FTR. Give
Yeah.
me FTR. Cause that's where I am.
But do you see Edge and Christian getting back together?
I think so, yeah, because I do believe that Copeland came to not WCW, AEW to reignite his
That's
partnership
hilarious.
with Copeland. I mean,
Yeah.
with Christian.
Yeah.
So many of these names.
Jeez.
But I see it can happen. I don't know what the transition is going to be. Nick Wayne was on the pre-show fighting Top Flight alongside Leo Rush and Action Andretti. So I feel like maybe they're transitioning the patriarch into a separate thing, and Christian's going to be like, "Oh, I lost my family."
Yeah.
Maybe. So yeah,
That makes sense. Christian is maybe a better heel, but him and Edge, the chemistry they have is always going to shine through. So this could go somewhere, especially with FTR being the heel. I think they were always better heels. Also, so that could be another intriguing story. Like I said, AEW, like I said, they hit and miss with it, and so hopefully this one can hit because of the experience of Edge and Christian and the chemistry between FTR as a great tag team they are, and they can shine better as a heel team. So it'll be something to wait and see. If that happens, I'm assuming that's how it's going to go. But
yeah, anything can happen, right?
yeah. But yeah, the Death Riders keep the titles. I guess they're gonna put them back in a briefcase. They showed them for. I guess they only show them for pay-per-views. I don't know.
At least those members of the Death Riders do. Moxley still didn't show it. I still don't know what the world title looks like.
Some people say he lost the title.
You know what? That could be the case. He lost the title. I was like, we're just gonna run with this story. He's in a briefcase until we make a new one.
Like, dang, could you get the replicas? Either way, never mind. Go ahead. Next match.
So we'll go to a series of matches here. We're gonna talk about this in the unison. We talk about the Owen Hart Cup.
Ooh.
So you had Will Ospreay, the Billy Goat, as some like to call him, versus Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight, ladies and gentlemen.
Kevin Knight showed out.
And the other match, you had Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe, which surprisingly, that was a good match. And I do say surprisingly, because I wasn't expecting Mark Briscoe to keep up with Kyle Fletcher the way he did, but yeah, hats off. Both of these are really good matches.
He could go now.
Yeah, but I didn't think he'd keep up with Kyle.
I know, Kyle's a level above him right now. He done stepped over him.
Yeah, man, he's the proto star.
Yeah, I don't know why I like that name. I just
it's a good name, right? It is. I do like it.
I said it before, but it's something about it. But yeah, like I said, this is another match we called where Kyle Fletcher's gonna get that one. I think we called it. I think our predictions lining up on this pay-per-view though. They lined up pretty well.
Yeah, for most of these we did. I don't think there's too much we missed out on.
And that's kind of the maybe issue with some people that man, we know this going to win. Why is the certain matches going so long? Like I said, it's a long pay-per-view. And some people thought, like, why are some of these matches even on the pay-per-view? And we've wondered that by past pay-per-views. You don't have to have so many matches. Less is more.
That is true. Real quick to that point, I want to bring up one thing. The Kyle Fletcher Mark Briscoe, I don't think was scheduled for this pay-per-view. The only reason it was added because they wasn't sure if Bandido was going to get his visa issue straightened out for his match against Jericho. But since it's like, well, since we got it on the card, we might as well do it. But no, I like your whole point about some of these matches being too long. Because I like a good false finish, but at some point, I'm like, okay, someone needs to actually lose this match now.
Right. Especially if we know who's going to win. I mean, for the most part, like I said, we called these matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is kind of the thing.
Yeah. But like they did tell you what the schedule was for this, and I guess the finals are going to be a Double or Nothing.
I think so. I mean, I guess that's how they're going to do it, but I feel like the time between television, but I guess they'll figure it out.
Yeah. I don't know, but what was it? But yeah, going off to Ospreay and Kevin Knight. Like I said, Kevin Knight showed out. He did good on Dynamite, but this really showed me, because like I said, I haven't seen a lot of Kevin Knight, and he very much impressed me. His athleticism is off the charts, and Ospreay gonna be Ospreay. I mean, I'm almost always guaranteed to have match of the night, almost always. But I want to see what Kevin Knight can go. I didn't think he was gonna win this match because I felt Ospreay didn't go far in the tournament. But I just want to see if Kevin Knight can go. But I didn't know who Kevin Knight is. He need to show me who he is. I see you're great in the ring, greater than a lot of people in AEW, and that's saying something. Because a lot of people in AEW can go just as hard in the ring and do high flying and reversals and this and that. But Kevin Knight showed something great in this match against Ospreay. Maybe it's Ospreay help him bring that out. I don't know, but I just need to know who Kevin Knight is for real, because he could get lost in the shuffle easily.
Oh, you're right about that. Because we talk about it all the time. People can have a lot of talent. AEW is filled with talent. They have a bountiful set of talented wrestlers on the roster. But what helps you stand out is character work. And that actually leads me to the other match, which I think was match of the night, although it was 30 minutes, the triple threat.
Yeah.
International Championship. You have Ricochet, by the way. And the reason I brought it up, because Ricochet, his whole character dynamic has changed so much. I love him right this moment. I was sort of rooting for him at some point, but this was a great match. Kenny Omega, Mike Speedball Belly, Ricochet. What you got to say about it?
I didn't like that Ricochet took the pin, and if he was going to take the pin, it should have been one-on-one, in my opinion. But hey, it's still a great match. I mean, I'm just saying, I just didn't like Ricochet taking that pin. But I knew this was going to be good. It's Kenny Omega. I mean, come on. Mike Bailey, did he get hurt?
Yeah, I don't think it's a serious injury, but
I don't know if it's his ankle or something like that. No. Or his knee.
I have to look into it, but I don't think anything's official.
I'm not sure. Because I know Ricochet was kind of bragging that he was kind of bragging that Bailey got hurt or whatever. So he was like, "Yeah, another loss. He could say he got to find another way to go to have some gold around his waist." He said that on X, but he was just happy Speedball got hurt. We'll see where this goes for Ricochet. Yeah, let's see where it goes for Ricochet. Kenny Omega gonna continue to shine, and then we seen a face off after this with Kazuchika Okada.
You know where that's going. That is going to lead to All In, where they're going to unify and create the Intercontinental Championship.
Hey, I ain't mad at that.
I'm not mad at it either.
I ain't mad at it. Some people might say, "Oh, why do we have an Intercontinental?" I mean, don't New Japan have that?
New Japan had one. I don't think they have it anymore, but they had one. Like it was under the belt, so it's like,
Well, they have it more. I mean, what, AEW can get it though. They can have one. So just combine the belts. I mean, it makes sense to me. Especially with these two could do that.
That is the thing, right? Fusion Force.
Yeah. with the amazing, with the amazing matches they done had in the past. Nah, I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting. But yeah, the amazing match they had. Somebody say, nah, I ain't saying Jacoby go get on me if he was on
What's
on the
that?
show today. You know, they 75-minute match. I watched the highlights.
Oh, dude. Look, okay, full disclosure.
Yeah,
We love wrestling here, but honestly speaking, like Biggie say, I don't need your 30-minute classics. All right. I don't need all of that stuff. All right. You just give me a simple match that tells a simple story. A perfectly good match can be told in 20 minutes
yeah, or less.
or less. And really, it can be done in less. Because you know who can do that? The timeless one. Tony
listen.
Storm. Tony Storm can give you a great match in 15 minutes. And it can have
Yeah.
story, it can have depth, it can have character, and it can be funny, and it can be entertaining. You don't need
Yeah.
all that. And her match against Mega Bang was a good match. This is another match that for a split moment, I legit thought Mega Bang was going to win. I was like, they are not about to take this title off of her. But then she got out, did the roll up,
Yeah.
pinfall. It was a good match.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it took to beat Megan Bain. That's kind of building her up in a loss.
Yeah, she kicked out at 1 after a Storm 0. So yeah.
Yeah. So
They made her look
that's still
strong.
kind of building her up right there. So hopefully they keep her on that level, Megan Bain that is. And so maybe she can still get a future title shot down the line. Because like I said, I still think it was too early for her to have this shot. Sometimes if you get a shot too early, it's hard to build you back up. It might tear you down, depending on how they book you in the follow up. So
Yeah.
I'm a little worried for Megan Bain, but maybe, like I said, they could keep her on that level. Because, like I said, it took a roll up the pinner, and she kicked out of Storm Zero at 1. So hopefully they can keep her on the right level. She can still get more wins under her belt on Dynamites and collisions and whatnot. And like I said, build back up. I mean, she should have been in there. No, I'm sure they had title shots. So she can't be Owen Hart. So I mean, but it's something else. I know they got another tournament down the line. She could win or Battle Royal or something.
Well, you know what? They could probably, because they seem to have a pretty decent women's roster, they could probably do a Continental Classic for the women, huh?
Well, and that's adding another belt.
Well, I mean, they need to change the rules. Like, you get a title shot.
Yeah, title shot at TBS or something like that.
Yeah, change the rules. Don't make it a title
TBS
belt.
Classic.
Yeah, you go. There you go. TBS Classics. There it is right there. We just call it that. TBS Classics. I love it. Right? Come on. We can fix this Death Rider story in a minute. All we need is one Dynamite. It'll be
Well,
fixed.
I told you give us a month or two to be an audition. Champions Corner podcast. Let's come on. Like, comment, and subscribe, man.
There you go. Hit that out real quick.
Boy, anyways, but yeah, Tony Storm, like I said, one of the best characters in AEW. It continues to have great stories. I like to see who's next facer though. That's gonna be interesting. Unless they give Mega Man another shot, I don't think they should.
Well, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen to Double or Nothing, but right now they have the Owen Cup with the winner of that will face her.
Well, yeah, but
so I mean, we'll see how that pans. But in the meantime,
that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got a little time before then. You got a little time.
She might run it back with Mega Bane again.
Yeah, maybe. Or I would say Penelope because she's right there.
That's what I'm thinking too, right? They could just kind of work that out with those two.
Mm-hmm. She has a few matches with her, and then.
Which, to be fair, I don't really know the relationship between Penelope and Mega Bane. Like, what's their friendship? This is something I wish AEW did more of. I wish they did more of those backstage segments where you can see the character dynamics of people interact. Because like how they did with Harley Cameron and Mercedes. I kind of want to see that with Mega Bane and Penelope. I just want to see them interact in dialogue.
Yeah, just a little bit more.
Yeah, just to kind of get a feel of what they are about.
Yeah, because I've never been helping each other out in these, in these matches and whatnot, tagging and whatnot. But that's cool. And they was upset after this match. They didn't want the camera to be on them too long because of what happened. But I mean,
well, it happens.
Yeah, we cool to see more from them together. What's the next match?
So I think it's the last match. It's the last match only because it's not an AEW title. It's the Ring of Honor title. Chris Jericho versus Bandido. I got to speak on this. You talk about how you hated the Death Riders ending.
Yeah.
I totally respect that because I ain't like it either, but I ain't like this ending either because I thought it was kind of dumb. You had a situation where Jericho used the bat. He calls it Floyd, take out Bandido, got the pin. Bandino's about to get unmasked. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was kind of looking forward to it. I was like, oh, wow, look at that. Juventud, Mysterio, and Bandido. Doesn't matter the decade, doesn't matter the promotion. Jericho's taking your mask, right?
That would have been cool, but I mean,
that didn't happen because Bandino's family's on the sideline screaming at the referee. And I'm sitting here wondering why is the referee listening to random audience members? But apparently that's what happens here in AEW. And they
that was kind of
snitch,
weird.
or not, they tell what happened, and they restart the match. And then almost immediately Bandido wins. And a part of me was like, well, you could have just had Bandido win. Just save everyone the hassle.
Yeah.
But credit to Chris Jericho keeping up with Bandido through the whole match. And, Jericho loses. No longer the Ring of Honor champion. I almost have to ask, what was the point of him being Ring of Honor champion, seeing how he was never really on Ring of Honor? I can rip this whole thing a new one. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to talk about Jericho anymore. So, yeah, that's it. That's just me. But overall, it was a good pay-per-view. Top down, it wasn't the worst that I've seen. The only issue I really had was the ending with the Death Riders. I thought that Swerve could have had better treatment to some degree, but I don't know. Don't like how that went. Overall, I will say that I think AEW is still on a good place right now. I think they have a good stride going with some of the storytelling. It's just really the Death Rider stuff. That's the only thing I feel as if isn't really doing its job as far as maintaining a strong story. But other than that, I think AEW has a pretty good hold on most of the storytelling for most of their other wrestlers and stories. It's just the Death Rider stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's different stuff. Like I said, other stuff hit and miss. I don't know, the Adam Cole and Garcia match. I guess that was a decent build, and I was surprised that Adam Cole won. But other than that, I still like the MGF story with her syndicate. But like I said, I like to see where that goes. But yeah, the Death Rider is one that's really is going too long right now. Because last year, what was it? The Adam Cole and MGF. That thing was going on too long.
My God.
So I think that for this year, this is the storyline that's going on too long, or just not going anywhere.
It's just not hitting.
It's there. They got one big one a year, maybe. I think that's what's going on. That's just not hitting.
Yeah, that seems to be the only one. Boy, they are going.
Yeah.
You see, we do this for you. We miss Monday Night Raw to bring this to you people.
Yeah, we're gonna catch up on it. We'll catch up on it.
Yeah, we'll watch Raw. Trust, we'll watch Raw. It's the internet. We'll always catch it. So Netflix. Real quick, before we wrap up, just want to mention Anthony Bowens came back, 5-2 player. He answered Max Caster deal. Again, another return on a pre-show. How do you feel about that?
I mean, they could have saved it for Dynamite. For it could be more people to see it. I'm glad he is back. That was a great moment for him to come back for with Max. But it should have been on Dynamite. That's all I can say about it. Win is a win.
That's true.
But just get more exposure and more story with it. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's a good point to kind of leave it on. More story, more depth, because I don't want Anthony Bowens to be Jamie Hayter, where she had this big comeback, and now we're like, well, we want Jamie Hayter to do something.
And me and you, like I said, we picked Jamie Hayter to probably win the Owen.
Yeah, I know, and so probably the only people who picked her to do it too.
Yeah, so maybe that's just what she is going to do. So I mean, I got high hopes for her, and I got high hopes for Bowens, because a lot of people say he's the better of the two.
We said that, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Watching that whole thing last night with Max Caster, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if you saw this. There was I think Max Caster is like really good. But one thing I want to say last is also Max Caster had like a real quick promo at the end of it, a little exclusive. And he said, I was the one who carried the group. When Anthony Bowens came into this business, they said, oh, he can wrestle. They say he's really good, but he ain't got no charisma. I had the charisma and I could wrestle. So they teamed us together. And then what happens when Bowens got hurt? I still had to carry the team. And then when they added Andy Guns, what happened? I still had to carry the team. And then when he got hurt again and he was stuck in a wheelchair, guess who still had to do their job? It was me. I'm the one that had all the raps. I'm the one that made us popular. I'm the one that had all the scissoring. Anthony Bowens is riding my coattail, but that's okay. I'm happy for him. I'm still the best wrestler alive. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. And I was like, you know what? Those are some pretty strong points. I never thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, but they just gotta help us to take him serious then.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
And right, I mean, you can make all the points you want. You may be true, but we still kind of look at you like a joke right now because you keep saying you're the best wrestler alive. You weren't even part of the best tag team alive.
He's the best wrestler alive because the best wrestler retired. It's Bryan Danielson.
Nah, he still ain't there. He ain't Wayne. He still can't call that.
He got a plaque. It's certified. It's patent. That's legitimate.
Oh yeah, the name is certified. Don't mean the name is accurate.
It's been notarized.
Okay, that's nice. Somebody gonna break that eventually.
I think Bowens actually broke it because he threw it out the ring. I think it might have actually broke. I think it did. I think it's actually broken.
I missed that part. Okay.
I hope he has it.
See, well, there you go right there. He was probably the right person to break it.
Probably.
Man.
But yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's Dynasty for you. It's our review for you. But like I said, we're waiting to see the follow-up now. We're a little upset at the moment. So we're going to get this out there for you. But Dynamite is a couple days away. And then we got Collision on Saturday. So they can make it up. AEW, you on the clock. You on the clock. You always on the clock, really. But you know, because we want you to stay consistent. We need you, AEW. We want you to do well.
Seriously, we need AEW in a wrestling sphere. Regardless of how people may feel about AEW, AEW's existence is important to wrestling because it builds up competition. It gives wrestlers a place where they can perform their craft. Like, you know, right now in a world where Bobby Lashley was released, where are we going to see Bobby Lashley? I can watch him in AEW. Swerve Strickland, he was released. Where could I see Swerve Strickland? I can see him in AEW. This is why we need an AEW. We need you guys to be not where the best wrestle, but where you can also find some of the best stories.
Right.
Mainly your world title picture, because that is not doing it for most of us.
Right.
Even your hardcore fans ain't liking it. You got to do something.
Right. And Tony, that's the most reason. Tony Khan got asked about it. And boy, that one, he talking about, oh yeah, Moxley's been the most intriguing since he got here. Wait, what we talking about?
It's a pivot. He pivoted that question. That's what he pivoted. He ain't pivot the story, but he'll pivot those questions.
I'm telling you, Lord help him. But
there you go.
Hey, we still love you, AEW. I mean, give us something to talk about. I appreciate you.
Definitely.
And like I said, we'll give you that follow up with their follow up. We'll see what they do. So
yeah.
So like, comment, subscribe. We love you here at the Champions Corner with a real fans meeting. Thank you for being a real fan. Thank you for supporting us. Continue to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, hit up us on all platforms. Hit up the merch shop.
There you go.
And just like a champion mania, WrestleMania is coming up. And so be ready for it. But we'll see you next time. It's your favorite host, the Mr. Highlights, Ron G, the Professor Mr. BJ. Say good night to the people.
Good night, everybody.
I wanna, step into the ring, it's the Champions Corner time. WWE and AEW break it down. We shine from the top rope to the mat. All the action, all the heat. Champions Corner podcast where the real fans meet. Champions Corner podcast.